Come take a trip in my airship. Come take a sail among the stars. Come have a ride around Venus. Come have a spin around Mars. Show us while we're busy. Show us to see while we school. Come take a trip in my airship and we'll visit the man in the moon. Will the audience please join me in whistling the chorus?
Greetings, loyal airmen, and welcome to another episode of the Airship 27 podcast with your co-host, Captain Ron Forty here, and as ever, my loyal chief engineer, Rob Davis. Hi, Rob. How you doing?
Doing good. And hello, fellow airmen. It's that time again where Ron and I bring you all up to date on the doings at the Airship 27 hangar. Fasten your seatbelts. It may get bumpy.
This is, for the record, episode number 80. All right. Hey, look.
80.
Yeah. Oh, 20 more. We're going to hit the big 100. Who knows, right? Can the world take it? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, we shall see. Before we get going into the usual hilarity and the ridiculousness of this hour that we have fun bringing to you, we're back again to that really sad situation that's become all too prevalent of late on the heading I call Saying Farewell. We start this episode with the sad news that since our last show, the new Pulp family has lost two more of its valued members. Several weeks ago, we lost writer Greg Hatcher after his long battle with cancer. Greg had been one of Airship 27's best writers, giving us several great Sherlock Holmes stories over the past few years, and most recently had created the original character, Dr. Fixit, who was appearing regularly in our anthology series, Mystery Men and Women. If all goes as planned, we hope to collect those stories in a single book sometime next year.
Yeah.
Then, just a few days ago, we learned of the passing of Jason Waltman. Now, Jason was an active member of the Pulp Factory group on Facebook, and maybe not a lot of you might know him, but the point that I always got a kick out of Jason, he was like the world's biggest Domino Lady fan. And as we'd done Domino Lady books, and so had Moonstone and whatever, anytime a new Domino Lady book came out, Jason was all there, pumping it up and cheering it. I believe he even created a Domino Lady Facebook page. That's what's so. Anyways, his good humor and friendly nature will really be missed. Hey, our sincerest condolences to both their families of these great guys. May they rest in peace in that great pulp bullpen in the sky.
Yeah. This is the bad part of growing older is starting to lose people. So yeah, it's good to be getting older. I prefer it to the alternative, but this part of it really stinks. So, but
totally.
Anyway, yeah.
So, okay, so hey, you get the dubious honor of kicking us off with our bad joke of the month. Take it away, amigo.
All right. Yep, here we go. A husband wakes up with the mother of all hangovers. He dreads the lecture he's about to get as this isn't exactly his first time having stayed out too late and had a few too many. But instead, as he rolls over, he sees 2 aspirin, a glass of water, and his clothes neatly folded. Taking the pills, he gets up to head down the hall. Suddenly remembering he got violently, got to straighten out my tongue here. He got violently sick in the hall when he came home. Dreading the mess, he opens the door and sees everything neat and clean. Confused, he goes down the halls and sees his wife sitting there with a big plate of breakfast for him. He looks at her and he says, This isn't exactly what I expected this morning. She says, well, I admit I was pretty mad, but then you said something last night that made a big difference. He answers, what did I say? She says, when you were in the bed, I started to take your pants off. You said, hey, knock that off. Leave me alone, lady. Can't you? I'm married.
Oh,
That's not a backslabber, but it's funny.
okay. Okay. All right. We will revisit this couple at the end of the show.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Okay. We will revisit this
We hit
couple.
on a
It,
we hit on a
it's
theme without
it's
even
a it's a
knowing.
it's a twofer of the bliss of married life. Okay. All right. So okay. So
Without even,
there you
and we
go.
don't coordinate this stuff, folks.
No,
This just happens.
it's the cosmic
I don't tell him what I'm
thread.
going to tell, and he doesn't tell me. So something for me to look forward to. Okay. I'm laughing
Oh.
already.
All right. So okay. So here we go. Uh, with released since our last show, and knock on wood, the old airship has been rather active and busy in some really nice ways. First up was Jezebel Johnston, #8, Revelation. Okay, this is the latest chapter in the Jezebel Johnson Pirate Queen saga by writer Nancy Hansen. In this volume, Jez leaves Africa and the Barbary Coast behind to return to her old sailing haunts of the Caribbean islands, and with her on her very own ship, the Revelation. Rob provided all the great interior illustrations and a really stunning cover that is really getting tons of rave reviews online, my friend.
I,
And yeah, you'll be getting another nomination for this one, deservedly so. Okay. And part of Jeff's saga has finally come to a close, which means that sometimes next year we will be collecting books. What 6, 7, and 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 4
right.
for the
5, 6,
second
7, 8. Yep. The second batch of
omnibus.
4.
Right.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, Nancy corrected me a little bit from last episode, where I made
Yes.
some mention about the possibilities that there were 12 in all, and she's like, how dare you tell me there's only going to be 12? If I want to write, and I'm like, well, no,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
No, that's not it.
No. So hey, look, Nancy, the more you want to write, we'll gladly publish them. This is such an
Sure.
amazing saga. I have loved every single book in this series. I look forward to every new one that comes out. And again, hey, if her imagination has got more to do with this character, by all means, let them come, please.
Sure. I mean, we're going to be doing this for a while, and if she's going to be doing that for a while, why not?
All right.
Okay, so anyway, also coming out recently is Brother Bones' Grave Tales. This is by our very own Ron Fortier. And it's our first Airship 27 Productions hardback offering. It contains the first two Brother Bones collections, The Undead Avenger and Tapestry of Blood, with all 12 stories and all my illustrations that I did on those. That was in the days where I did them on the first collection. I think I did an illustration, one for each chapter or each short story that you did. But the second one, I think we went to our regular anthology type thing where I did three for every story, or
Right.
12 for an
Right.
anthology.
Yeah.
In any case, we don't know exactly. We didn't sit down and count how many's in this particular collection, but all the ones I did for it are in there. They're all captured between a beautiful wraparound cover, and beautiful doesn't cover it. This is just a fantastic cover by Adam Shaw. The 300 plus pages book will retail at Amazon for $24.99, while we plan on selling it at shows for $20. Once we received actual copies, we'll be better able to assess the quality of the printing. Stay tuned. From the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice book, but it's until we actually have one on our hands and crack it open and see what it looks like. It's that this one is still in the same 6x9 format that we use for our paperbacks. So we'll take a look at that, and if we decide we want to, the next time we do one, we want to change the size or something, we'll look at that. But
Yeah.
this is our first foray into a hardcover, so we're not sure exactly how this is going to come out.
Yeah. I was
So
kind of hoping that,
I get good
because
ideas.
as you know, I have an order in for 4 of them, and I was kind of hoping that I would have them before we did this show, so we could do that. We could talk with
So
our
you could
loyal airmen.
show them, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But unfortunately, they haven't come in yet, and that's probably not really a big surprise considering that we're now getting into the holiday season. All right, Thanksgiving's only a few days away as we record this show, and so you got to believe, especially Amazon is going to be swamped with millions of orders. So I'm not, again, not overly surprised that they haven't arrived yet, but I'm kind of anxious to see them. And rest assured, loyal airmen, when they do get here at our next podcast, we will actually hold one up, show it to you, and Rob and I will discuss the quality. And again, like he said, this is a work in progress. So if they need to be a little bigger, we'll discuss that. If they work fine to the size, we'll decide that. And it's something I know, Rob, that all our writers out there are really anxious to see what our final results on this is going to be. So bear with us. Hopefully it works out nice, and it's a nice new addition to the publishing offerings that Airship 27 gives people.
Yeah, this has been something that Amazon has been offering as they call it, a beta program, as an experiment. But until recently, you couldn't buy author copies. You could have them for sale, but if you wanted to buy one for yourself as the author or the creator, you had to pay full price. So, and that we want to sell them at conventions, and that's just not feasible. So now that they've actually opened it up to author copies, we're going to start experimenting with it and seeing what it's like. We've wanted to have hardbacks all along, but it just wasn't offered by Amazon and Kindle and Kindle books until now. So we'll see. And I suggested that we actually do the Brother Bones collection as our first shot out of the block, and I also suggested Adam Shaw because I knew he could knock it out of the park, and as usual, he did. And I will at the end of the show I will post that full cover. He did a full wraparound cover for this thing, and I'll post a shot of that for those of you that are listening to this and watching this that haven't seen it yet. But it has been posted on Facebook and elsewhere, so it's out there to be seen, but maybe not everybody has seen it.
All right. So, hey, look, speaking of Adam Shaw, we're going to get back to him in just a couple seconds as we talk about book number 3 released since the last episode, which is Marshall Horn of Talon's Crossing by writer Tyler Offhammer. Now, this is a collection of 3 Western stories featuring the marshal of a small Nevada town. Artist Jeff Cram of Maine did the interior illustrations, this being his first work for Airship 27. And we hope he'll do some more for us. He was the gentleman we talked about who had an issue with Carpet Tunnel. And believe me, the last few illustrations he did with a great deal of pain. But being the true professional Jeff is, he persevered, he got them done, and they're all great. They're fantastic pieces. I hope he's happy with them as much as we are. I know Tyler's ecstatic. And of course, because this one also had a brand new Adam Shaw cover, which again, it's just the guy as an artist is so intuitive as to characters.
Yeah.
And how to pull out their sensibilities. So he can take Brother Bones in that previous, collection and give us this haunting, dark, noir horror feel perfectly. Then the very next book comes out and he's got this raggedy old rusty curmudgeon Western Marshal with a rifle over his shoulder and this beat up old hat and the muted colors of the West. It's a perfect Western cover.
Yeah.
Again, Adam's a true talent. He really, really is.
We're lucky to have him agree to do covers for us. He should be out there making tons of money with his artwork. Definitely.
And hey, look, yeah, and we're going to pass this along too. Okay, he does do commissions like most artists out there on the line.
Right.
So at the end of this episode, Rob will be posting these covers. You're going to see the cover for Brother Bones. You're going to see the cover for Marshall Horn. All right. Please, if you ever wanted to have an original piece of art, something that's beautiful to whatever character you want or whatever that you could mount, frame, put in your office or whatever, right? Adam's the guy to go see, believe me, all right? Because whatever he gives you is going to be a classic piece of art.
Yeah, and he works both in actual oils, physical oils, and in digital. He does digital work too, and it's you can't always tell which is which when you see the final image on a cover, because he's mastered how to do it digitally as well. But anyway, let's move on.
Okay, so here we go. All right.
So what's in the queue?
Please, what's coming next, amigo?
Yeah, in the queue, Dragon Throat: The Chronicles of Altiva by Teal James Glenn, an otherworld fantasy adventure with all the interiors by Chris Nye, and they have been completed. All we're waiting now is the cover being done by Michael Youngblood, and as usual, he's probably busy with commissions and other work, so it's keeping him busy. We haven't seen anything yet, but hoping to see something on that one very, very soon.
Yeah, that will turn around rather quickly once we get that cover in. That's always a place we like to be. All right, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit at the end after we've done the agenda. But then, close on its heels is the book that Rob's now involved with himself, doing interior illustrations, and that's a brand new full-length Sherlock Holmes adventure. Sherlock Holmes and the Adventure of the Iron Crown. It's a brand new full-length novel by Michael Black and Ray Lovato. And like I said, Rob is doing the illustrations for it. And we've gotten our British artist and good friend, the dear lady, Morgan Fitzsimmons, who's agreed to do the cover for us, which we're ecstatic. She has a really fine watercolor style of art. And she had done one cover for us once with the Smith brothers, The Eye of Quang Chi, from a Fred Adams novel. And Rob had helped her with the composition, but the cover came out looking absolutely beautiful. And she'd wanted to do Sherlock Holmes. She'd come to us and said, you guys do Sherlock Holmes. Is there any way I can do Sherlock Holmes? And so basically we had hoped maybe she could do the entire book. But last year, Morgan's in her 80s now, and she developed a little bit of foot cancer. Thank the Lord, it wasn't anything dangerous or life-threatening, but it was still serious, and it required some surgery and a few, weeks and months, bed rest and learning to walk again, and all those kind. And at that age, come on, okay. So Morgan hung in there. We stayed in touch until ultimately, when we got this new book from Ray and Michael, and I had read it and edited it, I was so happy with it. I was really thrilled with it. It's a phenomenal story. Rob's reading it. What they've done with it, they've pulled out a lot of stops, and I'm not going to give spoilers, Rob. But if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, a dyed in the wool, you will love this book. Let me tell you, because some of the things they did caught me off guard. I loved it. It was to the point. Rob knows exactly what I'm talking about. Right?
Don't give it away, because it's a lot more fun if you come across it.
It's a treasure. It's a treasure for any Holmes fan. Honestly, I'm serious about that. So so we don't want to wait. We want to get the book out for them and for all you loyal airmen. Morgan's obviously not in a position, and Rob, God bless him, came up with, well, maybe she can do the cover. And so I immediately went, and emailed and Morgan, and we exchanged a few emails. and ultimately agreed upon the fact that all I told her, I said, look, do them as you want to do them. Do Holmes and traditionally in Watson, because as we've done in the past, a lot of different artists have favorite actors they like to mimic. Rob is a Jeremy Brett fan. I'm a Basil Rathbone enthusiast. I like Peter Cushing, and they've all appeared at one time or another on the cover of our consulting detective series. So Morgan got back to me and said, okay, I get where you're coming from. But I have a feeling we're going to get an original take. All right. I think Morgan is that good a fan that they'll be Holmes and Watson, but I don't think they'll look like any actors or whatever.
I also think her style is really well suited to the era, to the Victorian era.
Yeah.
She's got a fantasy background, but when she did that
Smith Brothers book, the Smith Brothers.
Smith Brothers. Thanks. Yeah, I'm having brain cramps. But when she did that, it had a really nice look. It's a similar era. It's about the same time period, and she had it down pat. She did it very, very well, and I think I was really looking forward to her doing interior illustrations for this particular book as well. But since we wanted to get it out and wanted to move it forward, I thought, well, let's just have her do the cover then, and she can demonstrate her strength in this era's in representing this era.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, me too. And from my standpoint, Rob, I've called you the Sidney Paget of our times enough times. I mean, you put so much love in your Sherlock Holmes illustrations. It's there in every single one you do. And I knew you were going to have fun with this story. Anyway, so going around the clock with that, we've got you in illustrations. We've got a story that's unusual, fun, and a joy for Sherlock Holmes fans. And now we'll cap it off with a great cover. So there you go, Loyal Airman. Something for you to look forward to. Hopefully by the end of the year, because Rob's working on the illustrations now, and we've no clue when we're going to get Morgan's cover. So I don't want to commit to say it's going to be out 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. But I would like to see it out before the end of the year. It will depend on Morgan and the cover.
Well, a lot of it will depend on the holidays.
Yeah, because that too.
I've been reading on this book, and usually it takes me a week to read a book. But I had last week I had a bunch of driving to do for the local college that I still drive part-time. I drove every day last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. so that kind of put me behind on things a little bit. I did have a chance to read up to, I'm about 3/4 of the way, actually, most of the way through the book. I think I've got a couple of chapters left to do. And then I'll have done reading it and have done all the thumbnails, and then I'll go back and start doing the actual illustrations themselves. But we're recording this on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and as usual, there's a lot of family stuff that we all do during this time of the year, so that'll slow things down some more. But hopefully next week I can start jumping in there with both feet and get this thing done. But that's where we're headed at the moment. Hopefully we'll have it done by the end of the year.
Okay, so Dragon's Throat, Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of the Iron Crown, and what possibly after that?
Well, it looks like somewhere in the queue is Joe Computer, Private Detective. Now, if that title intrigues you, that's good, because it's an interesting concept. A way out novel by, and I'm sorry, how do you pronounce his last name, Ron? I've never met
Mugen.
Is it Mugen? Mugen.
Mugen or Mugen?
Mugen. So that's
Mugen.
a hard.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Mugen sounds correct. So yeah. I'll say it again. Lou Mugen, and I apologize if that's incorrect. That all takes place inside computers. So it's a way out novel by Lou that all takes place inside computers, with the programs being characters. Artist Fur Calvi is now doing the interior illustrations, and when those are completed, he'll also tackle the cover. I have already put together a logo for it and was just starting to lay out the interior of the book when Ron said, "Hey, let's get this thing started." So that will be in the queue shortly. How many has he got done now? Seven or eight of the
Of
12,
the
or
12,
is it
I mean, he's got 4 left. He's got 8. He's got 8 of the 12
okay?
done.
8 of the 12 done. Yeah, I'd have to get out my uh, things to check the numbers, but that sounds right. 8 of the 12. Yep.
Right. He's got
So
the
we're it's
it's a
coming
series.
right along.
Right. It's a series of, I think, 3 or 4 different stories featuring Joe Computer, the computer program. All right. So all the characters are programs. And this is a detective program. So he's the hero, the protagonist. Really, lose imagination, went beyond the pale with this.
Yeah,
And
this is yeah.
I absolutely loved it. And when you see Furr's work, Furr's is South American, Rob. And he's recently done some comics work with Mike Barron.
That's right. Yeah, I remember seeing that in one of his
Mike's
emails.
did a series with this dog. All right, that's like a secret agent for the federal government or whatever. Right? It's like a wonder dog kind of thing, which is really wacky and so much fun. He sent me a PDF of the first issue.
That's typical Mike.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, really. Okay, it is a ball. And Fur did the artwork for it, and that was one of the places I'd seen his art and realized that he has such a unique cartoon styling that it would work perfectly. Because we've seen, the first 8, and you get it. Because the minute you see his artwork, you go, oh yeah, these are computer programs. Yeah, that's it. He's got it. Those are computer programs.
Yeah,
How
he
do you
gets
do
it.
that? But
Yep.
again, yeah, gifted, really great guy. Very happy to be a part of the project and everybody. So that's really going to be great. And of course, we've got other things in the queue, and that was one of the things I alluded to earlier as far as getting down to this. We've still got a lot of projects that are working their way through the system, some almost done, et cetera, et cetera. But as ever, and I'm going to make that same appeal that I always do about artwork, because just yesterday I finished as yet editing another novel and slapped it into, waiting for an art team file. And without, I didn't take an accurate count because maybe it would have depressed me, maybe. Because I think we've got like 20. I think we've got like 20 titles in there right now. All right, it's insane. And the last thing I want to do is shut down submissions, tell people they can't submit or whatever. But we're quickly getting to a place where we're adding so many finished books that just need artwork. Okay, that Ron's done his part, which is my half of the team here of reading and editing, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm really, and with the holidays coming up, et cetera, it's really getting to be a challenge to find more and more artists to help us out to do at least interior illustrations. We've got maybe 4 or 5 that we fall back on to do covers, like Adam Shaw we talked about. Ted Hammond's another one, all right, and there are others, who will step up to the plate, and God bless every one of them. But finding people to do interior illustrations is my biggest challenge, and I'm forever on the net scouting and looking for people. Which ironically enough, amigo, has then led me, thanks to your invitation, because I am pretty much no longer on Facebook. Uh, the last month or so, I've become active on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I'm really impressed with that platform. Okay, because there's a real sense of professionalism there. Okay, that the
Yeah.
people you meet are pros, and nobody's messing around with religion or politics or fanboyish BS or whatever. Okay, it's
Yeah.
pretty much professional people from all walks of life wanting to get together and maybe make things happen. Okay,
Right.
right. So here's something that I wanted to share happily, because basically we've given you a glimpse of what's coming ahead, and we're getting into that section of the show is what else. All right. Well, what else? What yours truly is. Within 1 week, Rob, I was on LinkedIn 1 week per your invitation and connecting with various people, right? And one day I pull up artwork. I'm on that main page. You know, pretty much everybody has the main page. And I see 5 finished comic book pages, all penciled, inked, and colored by one gentleman, an Italian artist named Andrea Bormida. Okay. Hopefully I pronounced Bormida correctly, Andrea. He's watching us now because I shared the link to your channel. Okay. And he subscribed.
Yeah, he did subscribe earlier today. I got the notification of that. Yeah.
Andrea has been in the business for 25 years. He's worked for international comic companies around the world. All right. A gifted artist, storyteller, you name it. Okay. And so, I mean, as I'm wont to do, and you know this, I'm seeing these 5 pages, all right, and without dialogue or captions, but I'm blown away by his art. It's just beautiful, and you can get some storytelling with what he's done. It's science fiction. There's a spaceship at the beginning, then they land on a planet, right? I'm in awe of this, totally in awe. And I commented, I said, "Wow!" I said, "You're such a talented artist. This is beautiful work. Bravo!" Right? Well, he appreciated it. He writes me back, and we start a little chat going back and forth to the point where ultimately he sees my bio, my background, et cetera, and basically invites me onto the project. And i.e., he had an idea, but he could use a writer. Boom. I basically come back to send me what you got. Andrea sends me his 1-sheet outline, allows me to play with it, to work on it. And the long and short of all of this is we're now doing this together. It is going to be a 6-issue mini-series. And as much as I would like to say who's going to publish it, it will be published in this country. I don't want to do that because I don't want to steal the publisher's thunder. Okay. A friend of yours and mine. Okay. And I think you have a good idea who. All right.
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Cause I had sent him Andrea's pages and told him what this was all about and how this was developing between Andrea and myself. And he got back to me, publisher guy, and basically said, "You give me 22 pages, no more, no less, and we're hands down, this is a done deal." I got back to Andrea. He was tickle pink. He wants it published.
And we lost Ron.
Okay. Hey, look, we had a little internet problem here, as you can tell, but we're going to muddle through and finish this up with my joke of the month. So here we go. If you'll recall, Rob's at the start of the show, right? The old man is laying in his bed now, all right, well into his 90s, and he's only got a few hours left to go. His time has come. When all of a sudden he smells something, he takes another whiff. Could that be the wonderful cinnamon scones his wife used to make? With his last ounce of effort, he gets out of his bed. He walks to the hallway, and sure enough, they're coming from downstairs, that smell in the kitchen. So he gets up, he makes his way down the stairs, holding on to the railing. All right. He makes his way to the kitchen, and as he walks into the kitchen, there's his wife at the sink, and on the table is a plate of these marvelous cinnamon scones that she made for him for 50 years. He's ecstatic. He falls almost on his knees, and he reaches over to grab one. And just as he's grabbing it, she turns around and slaps his hand with this wooden spoon. "Get off that, you bugger. Those are for the funeral."
Oh, Lordy. So, okay.
Yeah.
That's a left field joke. That's from
whoa.
way out in left field.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bad joke. Bad joke.
Okay. Hey,
So,
we're
to explain, you lost power, right? You lost power at your house?
Yeah. No, well, we lost power in the house. Okay. In my office, the computer shut down, everything. So
Oh,
hey, it's
yeah.
these things kind of happen. But hey, we're gonna say so long to everybody. Thanks for watching, and happy Thanksgiving to all our loyal airmen out there. Okay, I hope you all have a
Absolutely.
great time.
Yes.
Rob,
Don't
I'll
eat
let
too
you
much
sign off.
turkey.
I'll let you sign off, buddy.
Okay, this is Chief Engineer Rob Davis signing off.
And Captain Ron, as ever, says, down ship.